My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and man, oh man, what a lot of celebrating we have to do today because President Trump, yet again, did what they said could not be done. And not only did not only did he get Cracker Barrel to completely reverse what they were doing, he got a lot of people who were very worried about their jobs. He got their jobs safe and secure now, and that's of course the employees of Cracker Barrel. And it's also another road in saving Western civilization and American culture. Cracker Barrel, Cracker Barrel's been in existence since '69. And it's become an American tradition. It's been around, for, that would make it 56 years, over half a century. And people like Cracker Barrel because it takes you back to a different time. I miss those times, right? It was a very nostalgic time. And one of the things that Cracker Barrel does is it takes you back to another time, America. And anytime you go back in time, it's nostalgic. And I guess what Cracker Barrel takes you back to is what, like the 40s, the 50s, maybe even the 30s, Americana and traditional American country stores and good Southern food. And it's just, Cracker Barrel has become an American tradition for people all over the United States, on the road, going wherever they're going, and they stop in. And, Cracker Barrel is, I've been talking a lot this week that my wife and I, we have Thanksgiving dinner every year at Cracker Barrel, and we love it. And it's become a holiday tradition for a lot of people. When I say holiday, I'm talking about all the holidays, right? I'm talking about, Thanksgiving, Christmas, family get-togethers and reunions, road trips. Cracker Barrel is like an American tradition. And you get this woke lunatic running the company, and they were about to destroy the company. And what Cracker Barrel did in this reversal is exactly what Bud Light should have done. And they would have saved themselves. And I promise you, this decision at Cracker Barrel was not made by this woke CEO. It was made in spite of her. The board of directors told her what to do because Cracker Barrel was about to go the way of Bud Light. And, and President Trump just put a post on True Social about it, and that was it. After a few days of people like me being outraged. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. On my next stream, I'll be live in the studio in just over an hour taking live calls. Yeah, it's a MAGA nation. America is a MAGA nation. And believe me, there are corporations around America, all kinds of companies and businesses that are looking at what Cracker Barrel did and saying, okay, how can we do what Cracker Barrel did and get out of this woke crap? This is one of the fastest reversals that a wokester has ever done. I mean, Bud Light's the textbook example of how to destroy a great American brand. But there have been others. I mean, Disney. Have you seen this video of Snoop when his kids were looking at at something that was filled with all kinds of weirdness? Disney has damaged their brand beyond repair. For Disney to repair their brand, they'd have to fire all their senior management and bring in some good people. I think it would be super, because if you guys agree with this, I think it would be super cool if President Trump went and had a meal at Cracker Barrel. Don't you? Wouldn't that absolutely be amazing? That would be one of the coolest things you could imagine. Has a president ever gone to Cracker Barrel? You know, the thing is with these leftist lunatics, you know, they've been working on Cracker Barrel for over 20 years. The left have been going after Cracker Barrel for 20, 25 years. The NAACP got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit settlement from them many years ago. And they've always been under attack, and they felt alone. But they've got us, and they've got President Trump, so they're not alone at Cracker Barrel. But, you know, 20, 25 years ago, they had the Justice Department, Civil Rights Division after them, and all these lawyers, and they paid them off. And part of what they did was bring in an idiot liberal to run the company. And, you know, the thing about, you know, with woke women, right? You know, you look at what's going on in the D.C. crime. D.C. was being run by women, and look what happened. Liberal woke women. Cracker Barrel, run by woke women. You know, the Budweiser decision to hire that weirdo to be their spokesperson, that was a female marketing director. And what liberal women have a problem with is they make decisions based on emotion, not practicality, and what's right? They do things on emotion. And you can't run a company on emotion. You run a business on what the customer wants, what your consumer wants, what makes sense, not how you feel. And that's it. I mean, you know, liberal women are very destructive to cities, to companies. And we're seeing it all the time. That's not a sexist comment. I mean, it's an obvious thing. Notice I say liberal women, because there's great conservative women like Kristi Noem and others who are in charge of big organizations, and they run it, you know, like you're supposed to, not on emotion. You know, and that's it. You know, this CEO of Cracker Barrel is fuming. I promise you, fuming. She's angry as hell. She's pissed off that they did this. And that's it. But it was a quick and fast decision, and that was great. You know, and, you know, the thing is, you know, with these liberal radical wokesters that are in charge of things, they're trying to change everything. They're trying to change everything. Start your own restaurant and make it generic woke crap. Right? You know, that's it. Don't try to change our things. You know, right now, Disney, that was destroyed by liberal women and their woke crap, they're trying to come up with some film project ideas that'll cater to a male audience. Good luck. They've done so much damage that sometimes it's beyond repair. There'd have to be radical changes to repair the damage that some of these brands have done to themselves. Gulf of America, that's right. Yeah, that's why I was mentioning Disney, Snoop Dogg. I mean, I was an annual pass holder at Disney for years and years, and I let them expire. I had an annual pass, my wife and daughter, we all had annual passes. Did not renew them. I did not renew them. A waste. A complete waste. You know, they're just, you know, they're too woke. You know, and Disney has also discriminated against the disabled. That's another thing. I might have to talk about that sometime, because Disney's being run like the Nazi youth, the Hitler youth. Oh, yes, the Star Spangled Banner, no doubt about it. And I hope the Cracker Barrels are packed this weekend with people going out and having great meals. I really do. I've got a video I'm going to play on the show today. It's a waitress, and she's talking about how slow it is, and she only had a couple tables during her shift. So we need to go in and support all the hardworking people at Cracker Barrel. It wasn't their fault that the woke CEO made these decisions, and now that they've reversed it, in spite of the woke lunatic lady CEO, you want to go in and support these hardworking people and leave them big tips, especially since there's no taxes on tips now. Think of what Donald Trump has done to the people that work at Cracker Barrel. No tax on tips, right? And he's going to fill up their restaurants. Oh my goodness. But woke is going extinct. Bernie Sanders is a fraud. He's no socialist or democratic socialist. He's a millionaire many times over who has multiple homes. He's a complete fraud. He makes millions off of promoting socialism. And do you think Bernie Sanders takes all the Trump tax cuts for his millions of dollars? Yes or no? What do you guys think? I'm going to say a strong yes to that. He takes all those Trump tax cuts that he's against in his speeches, and it's a big fraud. That's right. Of course, he's not a socialist. He preaches socialism, but he's not living the life. He's like he's just a fake. He's total fraud. Total fraud, Bernie Sanders. I mean, AOC's a millionaire herself. How can you be a socialist and a multimillionaire? Seems to be a little bit of a conflict. You think she takes the Trump tax cuts? Of course she does. She's got millions of dollars. Exactly. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to my blog. Welcome, Mike89 Car, new subscriber to the channel. Well, you'll love the next stream in the studio. And those of you that are new, I host a morning show and I take live calls. So now, I'm not in the studio now. I'm in my car, but when I'm in the studio, I'm taking live, unvetted, screenless calls, and the toll-free number will be in the chat. You can call me whether you agree or disagree. But I don't think Bud Light is beyond repair. I mean, if they look at they bring in Sydney Sweeney or something, but they've done so much damage. I think it'd be hard for a guy to walk out of a gas station with a 12-pack of Bud Light. It'd be hard for me too, unless it was just a complete cover of Sydney Sweeney on it. If the whole case was Sydney Sweeney, and it didn't even say Bud Light on it, then guys might buy it. Exactly. But it's what President Trump says. Go woke, go broke. Everything woke turns to you know what it turns to. And the country was never liberal with all this woke crap. The country has always been conservative, always. And the liberals are overrepresented in media and politics. We know they're overrepresented in Congress. That's why they're doing all this redistricting like they're doing in Texas around the country. Democrats, liberals are overrepresented in media, in Washington, everywhere, in the news. And because they're overrepresented so much, it makes it appear that their liberal stupidity is popular and mainstream, but it's not. It's unpopular and very cult-like. I mean, look at this nonsense that they are doing now, advocating for the rights of criminals to do crime. How dare you rid DC of crime? How dare you even discuss ending crime in Chicago? When they've gone to a point, the Democrats, where they're openly advocating for the rights of violent felons to do crime and victimize law-abiding people, they're getting very desperate and they're out. They're so desperate to, see, the Democrat Party is such a small group with such a minute following right now that they're trying to get anyone on board, and if that means the criminals, that's a voting block to them. It's hilarious. Trump has really smoked them out. That's why I was talking about the flag burning on yesterday's show. These leftists, they're going to start burning flags all over the place and posting them on social media. And Trump has really smoked out these America haters. And people the Americans do not like the flag being burned. They don't like it. And, every day that goes by, you see more residents of Chicago asking President Trump to come to Chicago and rid their city of crime. The elected officials say, don't do it. They want crime, but the actual regular people are saying, please come here, Mr. President, and clean up our streets. And that's what the people want, and it's going to happen. And, once, they had one shooting that resulted in a death in D.C. yesterday, the first one in 12 days, which is a record. And I was talking about this on my podcast last night. When the Democrats heard there was a murder in D.C., what do you think their reaction was? I'm saddened. Someone lost their life. Someone lost a son, a husband, a boyfriend, a dad, But the Democrats, they high-fived each other. Oh, look, Trump failed. There was a murder. Do you think the Democrats were high-fiving when they heard about that? Yes or no? I say yes. That's how sick and twisted the Democrats have gotten. That's crazy. Yeah. And I'm going to open the show today talking about the Cracker Barrel caving, because that's an important story, but I got a lot of other things to cover. But did you see that reporter in the cabinet meeting yesterday from NTD who was pistol whipped and mugged at gunpoint in DC? And Trump exposed something the media, I know, it was a terrible story. And President Trump exposed the media that when they leave the White House, it's so dangerous. Well, it was prior to 2 weeks ago, but it's been so dangerous in D.C. that they've had to have security escorts to go from the White House to their news outlets' offices in D.C. That's crazy. That's crazy, and they're covering that up. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. If you're new, you'll love my channel, I promise you. I promise you. And don't forget, on the next stream, I'll be in the studio taking your live calls. And you can call me whether you agree or disagree. I take calls from everyone. However, no profanity. You can't use profanity when you call in. That's difficult for a lot of liberals, right? They're so angry at all this MAGA winning that Trump is giving us, they can't control their mouths. But no profanity. This is such a historic time. That cabinet meeting that President Trump had yesterday, hours long, totally live on television. Every member of the cabinet reporting to the president about what they've done, what they're working on, and what they're going to do. And then the president and the cabinet, they took questions for hours, all day. When have we seen the government so transparent as we saw yesterday in that cabinet meeting? That's so amazing to watch. I couldn't stop watching it. Actually, the NACU022 said, making history with that debt. Yeah. It was reported in the cabinet meeting yesterday that the deficit is down 26%. Thanks to the revenue from the tariffs and all the business that the president's brought back to the United States, the deficit has been cut by 26% in just a few short months by President Trump. That's amazing. Yeah, that is historic. It's not even in the news hardly, but it was in the cabinet meeting. I know, that's amazing. It's crazy. I mean, he's, President Trump's a leading economist. No, the Treasury Secretary reported that in the cabinet meeting to the president yesterday. That is just phenomenal. So he's cut a quarter of the deficit already. And it's really only in about 3 months or so, because the tariffs haven't all been in effect that long. He knows what he's doing. 26%. The deficit has been cut by 26%. The Treasury Secretary reported that to the president. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's fantastic. Oh, now all of a sudden liberals don't care about the deficit. It's not important. Mm-hmm. They're worried about the deficit. President Trump cuts it by 26% in just a couple of months, and all of a sudden the deficit doesn't matter. Well, you're living in a MAGA nation, Michael Bailey. This is MAGA America. That's why Cracker Barrel caved and reversed their decision. Make sure you subscribe. On the next stream, I'll be taking live calls, and you'll enjoy the program a lot, I promise you. You're all welcome to call me on the air. We'll be talking. I'm going to open talking about the Cracker Barrel reversal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, liberals are losers, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look at how quickly Cracker Barrel reversed their decision on going woke. That's something, that's really something. Yeah, I think I might need to go to Cracker Barrel this week. What about you guys? Cracker Barrel's sounding pretty good right now. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. My favorite at Cracker Barrel is their buttermilk chicken. It's like that you get chicken, I think it's chicken breast, and it's marinated in buttermilk. Why would 10 million Americans be homeless? I mean, mommy and daddy kicking you out. Yeah. Yeah, all of a sudden these things aren't important. Cracker Barrel's reversal is proof that this is a very conservative MAGA nation. Right? That's it. A very conservative MAGA nation. The majority of the country are behind not just President Trump, but everything he's doing. And I mean, look at this great work the Texas state legislature has done in redrawing their maps. And now other states are going to do it. South Carolina, Florida, many other states are going to redraw their congressional districts. And, the Democrats, the media will tell you that they're gerrymandering. No, what the Republicans are doing is correcting the Democrat gerrymandering. The Democrats have been gerrymandering districts all of our lives, and the Republicans are reversing and correcting that. That's what Democrats do, right? They're con men. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is 4:25 a.m. here on the East Coast. I'm in Florida. Pretty early. Where's everyone located? Like, what state or country are you in? Let me know in the chat. At this hour of the morning, it's a different time in different time zones. Ohio, so a lot of people up early. Hawaii, Kentucky. We got a lot of people up early. Ontario, England. It's nice to see someone say England and not the UK. I'm glad England is back. California, Kansas, New York, Toronto. You're deployed. Okay. Baton Rouge. All right. MAGA country. That's right. The United States. Kansas City, Missouri. Australia. Welcome, Australia. New Orleans, New Jersey. China. I doubt that. California, Pinecrest. Illinois. Awesome. Baltimore. So we have a national and international audience. New Zealand. Welcome, New Zealand. Welcome. Lincoln City, Oregon. San Diego. California, North Korea, Denver, North Carolina, Michigan. Oh boy, yeah, we're all over the place. That's awesome. Welcome. Maine, Spain, Florida. That's awesome, guys. Welcome, everyone. It's amazing, this president we have, Donald Trump, when he left office at the end of his first term, I told you guys that were watching me here on YouTube at the time, I said, we're going to find that President Trump's having two non-consecutive, because I knew he was going to be reelected, when he left for a second. I said having two non-consecutive terms is going to be better. And I interviewed a couple of times Dick Morris on the program, who's a campaign advisor to President Trump in this second campaign, or this second terms campaign, and his third campaign. And I said to Dick Morris, I said, Trump is going to come in with a mandate. He said, absolutely. And he has a complete mandate. And the things that he's doing aren't even controversial. They're just common sense, what he's doing, just common sense. And that post on True Social about Cracker Barrel, that was it. As soon as he posted that, Cracker Barrel reversed everything. It's so nice to have a president back, I mean, it really is, that runs the country as a very moral leader, because that's what he is, a very moral leader. No doubt about it. I mean, how could you be against and they keep saying that Washington D.C., they're under federal occupation, the military are not arresting people. The local police are, and federal agents. The military are just there making a presence. They're not arresting anyone. Liberals just make crap up. They just make stuff up. They don't care if it's true or not. They're consumed with hate. They're the left, like as an example, I'm going to play that audio of the NTD reporter from the cabinet meeting that talked about how she got mugged at gunpoint outside the White House and pistol whipped for a computer and iPhone. And, here you got the White House press corps have been living in this crime-ridden city. I've heard two of the White House press corps talk about getting mugged at gunpoint, right? The NTD reporter and Brian Glenn. Both of them have talked about getting mugged at gunpoint in D.C. outside the White House. So, it's happened to others. It didn't just happen to those two. And the media are covering that up. Because if they tell the truth, if they actually report the news, it helps Trump. They're not even, the news are not in the business of reporting the news. They're in the business of covering up the news. That's it. I mean, and now it's safe. They're not reporting how safe it is for them. And they've been living in fear for, I don't know how long it's been this bad in D.C. But it's just an example of how fake the media are. You cannot trust most of the media, the mainstream media. You just cannot trust the legacy mainstream media. They're liars. Complete liars. That's right. They hate the media. They hate Trump. And even when he's making their lives safe again, they cover it up. And they're angry at him for doing it. Fox has a few good people on it, but it's got a lot of problems too. Yeah, there's no doubt. But you can't trust Fox. You cannot trust Fox News. They're always out there to betray us, no doubt about it. Have you all subscribed to the channel, by the way? Fascist. What is President Trump doing that's fascist-like? The first responsibility that government has is to keep its citizens safe, protect its citizens from harm, from enemies, both foreign and domestic. And these criminals on the street are domestic terrorists that are terrorizing the civilian population. It is the government's duty to make this a city, a town safe for its citizens. He's deporting citizens of other countries, not of the United States. It's getting on at 79 degrees already. No, I'm right, Johnny. I am very much right about everything that I've talked about this morning. Yeah, I mean, you guys, they got their fake Maryland man. I mean, one of the reporters in the cabinet meeting asked, why are the Democrats and the media obsessed with supporting this Garcia character who beats his wife and traffics humans? This gang member. That's how far gone they are with their Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, Democrats act like the Jonestown crowd. Absolutely, yeah, and they're very delusional, no doubt about it. Yep, no questions about that. I just turned the air conditioning on because it's so cold. I mean, so hot. It's early. I'm still drinking my coffee here. I'm waiting for Starbucks to open so I can get my espresso, which I desperately need. And remember, on the next stream, I will be taking your live calls. So make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell. And I'll be live about 5:20 or so here on the East Coast. So about 20 minutes after the hour or so, I'll be live. Yep. The Democrat reaction to all of these things is most definitely disgusting. I would agree with that. Yeah, the Democrats are disgusting. No doubt. Quite disgusting. Yeah. Well, if MAGA was not the majority of the country, Cracker Barrel would not have reversed their decision. They wouldn't have. I read an article today. There's a whole bunch, like 40 Planned Parenthood clinics have closed because of the big, beautiful bill cutting their funding. That is so awesome. I wonder how many babies have been born because President Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. I don't know. Babies have babies when they grow up, too. I mean, it's amazing. How many babies have been born because President Trump overturned Roe v. Wade? That's just... I think overturning Roe v. Wade is going to go down as his greatest accomplishment. Right? I mean, how can you top saving so many lives? That's a difficult thing to top. Think about it. How many people over the course of the next 100 years will live because Trump overturned Roe v. Wade? Because the ones that aren't aborted because Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, and then they have children and grandchildren, and the whole cycle. It's amazing. Millions and millions, tens of millions. That's amazing. What an accomplishment that is. I think that's his greatest accomplishment. And what a national shame Roe v. Wade was. And overturning that is an awesome thing. Oh, yeah. Now, unfortunately, Zelensky and Putin are lunatics, and they can't end this war, but Trump did his best. If he can end this war with Russia and Ukraine, that'd be great, but these two guys are nuts. I think it was it President Trump the other day who said it's a personality conflict between these two guys? I wonder if they changed presidents in Ukraine, would that end the war? Is Zelensky and Putin's personal hate for one another stopping the war from ending? I would say a good chance of that. Yeah, I would definitely say there's a good chance of that. I gotta get a haircut. I can tell I need a haircut when I have to adjust my hat. I mean, Zelensky's the problem. He's president past his term anyway. He is a dictator. FDT, forever Donald Trump. I agree with that one, MX. Forever Donald Trump. Absolutely. You guys agree with that? Forever Donald Trump. No doubt about it. Yep. MX, there's MAGA. Forever Donald Trump. FDT. Awesome. Same. There's MAGA people everywhere. Yeah, Putin's a dictator, but what are we supposed to do? Go to war with Russia? Like, with the second most powerful military in the world? We're number one, they're number two. That seems to be something you would want to avoid. We can't remove Putin from office, but we could get a new president in Ukraine. Yep, forever Donald Trump, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it surprises you who's MAGA, doesn't it? Sometimes you can really be surprised. Mm-hmm. I've never seen Falling Down. I've seen the first scene once or twice, but I've never seen Falling Down. Make sure you subscribe if you are new to the channel. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the life of me, I cannot understand why any American citizen, and when I say American, I mean United States of American, not South American or Canadian or Mexican. I'm talking about United States of American. Why would any American citizen be opposed to anything Donald Trump is doing? It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. Everything he is doing is putting America and Americans first. That's right, America. That's right. Mm-hmm. Making us proud. It's so awesome to have such a great president like this, isn't it? It's amazing. Mm-hmm. No, most of our other presidents have been total sellouts. Biden, corrupt. G.W. Bush, corrupt. Clinton is total sleaze bucket. Obama, corrupt. This is the first president we've really had that put America and Americans first. Even Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was, he did a good thing bringing about the collapse of the Soviet Union, but that really wasn't about us. It was about them, and look where we are now, right? Was Reagan really successful with Putin being the dictator? He's been running Russia since Clinton was president, so I don't know. Was Reagan successful? In some ways, but in a lot of ways, no. What Donald Trump is doing is about this country and the American people. I mean, I guess they're a little bit freer over there in Russia than they used to be, but... Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh, man, what a great day. Yeah, next 4th of July is going to be awesome, our 250th anniversary. That's going to be amazing. I might go to Washington for that. Maybe. I'll see. I'll never get tired of winning either. We are definitely winning. Mm-hmm. Yep, thank you. All of you are new. Welcome to the channel. You will definitely love this channel, I promise you. You will definitely love this channel. And if you don't love Trump now, you watch me long enough, you will. The markets are doing very well. I don't have a 401k, but investments are doing very well. Mm-hmm. For everybody, the markets are doing great. Why don't we just change President's Day to Trump's birthday? How about that? Independence Day is still Independence Day. No, 250 years ago, on July 4th. July 4th is not when that's not when Columbus discovered America. 250 years ago is when America declared independence from England. July 4th, 1776. Oh my goodness. What are they teaching you guys in school today? I mean, that's something every American should know. Yeah, I've got this video I'm going to share on the next stream today. Someone mentioned New Mexico. A New Mexico police officer pulled over that illegal driver that killed those people here in Florida in that U-turn accident on the Florida Turnpike. The guy doesn't speak any English. The cop wrote him a ticket and apologized for writing him a ticket. I couldn't believe it. I've never had a cop apologize to me for writing a ticket. Very bizarre. Yeah, very bizarre. Never said. It's how liberal it is, I guess, for the Highway Patrol of New Mexico. What an embarrassment. Was Breaking Bad in New Mexico or Arizona? I forgot. New Mexico or Arizona, Breaking Bad. For some reason, I want to say Arizona, but I could be wrong. I'd forgotten. Arizona. Someone said New Mexico. Someone said Arizona. Yeah, I can't remember. New Mexico? Yeah, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico. You are correct. Yes, New Mexico. Yes, yes, yes. Now, if any of you had a police officer apologize to you for writing you a ticket, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. And the guy's English, I mean, he speaks like no English. It's crazy. You know, it's just nuts. I was watching a YouTube video of someone in the UK, and they were driving, and the street signs, I didn't know what those street signs meant. The street signs are not universal. Different countries have different types of signs that mean different types of things. So if you can't read and speak and write in English, how can you drive safely on the roads? It's insane. Completely insane. I wouldn't be able to drive over there. No, you know, you've got to be able to speak the language and read the signs, especially if you're driving an 18-wheeler. Yep, make sure you guys subscribe who are new to the channel. We're in semi-dark manga mode right now. Gonna put the windows down so I can back out better. Okay. All right, dark manga mode engaged. Got a busy day today. So the next stream I'll be on the studio will be around 20 minutes after the hour, so make sure you got the notification bell clicked. I'm going to open talking about... there's a lot of things to come today on the program, your live calls, but that's a big one. You know, it's a big one because it shows where the country is. The country is with Trump and MAGA. Believe me, that CEO is freaking out right now. She's probably been up all night just pissed off that she got overruled by the board of directors. She thinks her company is catered to a bunch of bigots. She doesn't understand she's the one filled with hate. It is 4:46 a.m. here in Florida, 79 degrees. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, a lot of people in my neighborhood go to work early in the morning. Oh, what a nice day. Yeah, my daughter was just out in LA, and she was telling me it was like 100 degrees where she was at the other day in Los Angeles. I couldn't believe how hot it was in LA. She said it was even hot at night. My daughter went out to LA to, my daughter moved back from California a few months ago. And she went back to get some of her stuff she had in storage and everything, finish the move. All right, got a few minutes till they open. Oh, I gotta get gas. I get gas after I get off the air. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, so what I'm going to open with today is the reversal of Cracker Barrel, which was amazing. We got to cover that. The reversal of Cracker Barrel is just amazing because it shows we're in a very conservative Republican MAGA nation. That's big, but I got a lot of other things I want to cover too. So if you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. The next stream from the studio will start in about half an hour or so, about 30 minutes, and I'll be taking your calls live in the studio. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Take care. Thanks for watching, and welcome to everyone who's new.